What's up, everyone? Arctic here, and today I'm talking about E3 2013. This is going to be a two-part discussion. The first, I'm going to talk about the consoles. The second portion, I'm going to talk about the games a bit, just a couple that I'm really interested in. If you guys have been following the news on this, this has been really heated discussion specifically about Microsoft at this point, but there was a lot of rumors about both consoles before we got the press conferences from Sony and Microsoft last month. Sony's was in February, and I think I guess the pre season winner right now is PlayStation in a lot of circles, and Sony, because they gave more information about games. And I think for people that are looking at Microsoft from a gaming standpoint, they're like, man, what are they going to show? And they want to make sure that this E3 event, they really appeal to the gamers right now, because that's pretty much what made them what they are right now in terms of a powerful entity as a gaming console. Microsoft itself is huge, but having that mind share for gaming, being known for gaming, is what people care about with Microsoft and the Xbox. So, the fact that they didn't talk about it at all definitely hurt them going into E3, but they have a lot of unfulfilled expectations. We don't know what they have on their plate right now. So I think that kind of puts them in a nice spot. But again, they have a lot of unfulfilled expectations there. So with Sony, we don't know what the console looks like, so it'll be a console unveiling. But we kind of know what the features are. They talked a little bit about the games. We know at least more games that are going to be on Sony than on Microsoft's platform right now. But from a gaming standpoint, they have a lot of things that I'm really interested in. So let's go ahead and start with the disappointments for both systems. We're going to start with Microsoft first. The biggest one for me is that they said that developers will need to have publishers. So there's no self-publishing on the Xbox One platform. And they've always had a very walled garden approach with their ecosystem, their platform, with Xbox Live. So this is not really surprising, I think, but it wasn't, I don't think it was the right decision. There's a lot of reasons that indie devs are on PC, and on iPhone and on all these platforms, is because they don't have all these restrictive elements that are, cutting into their share, if you will, for putting out their work. And if you intervene with a publisher, they're going to take a cut. I mean, that's what's going to happen. They're going to pay for you to be able to put your game on the platform, and they're going to expect sales. That's just how it works. So that's really unappealing to some developers. And a good example of this was Digital Extremes and Warframe, which got announced for the PlayStation 4 as a launch title. And in the article, Digital Extremes flat out said that the reason that this is appealing for them is because they don't have to jump through hoops with publishers. That's just flat out. They get to control their intellectual property and develop a game that they want to develop and put it on a platform that supports that work. So, this could really hurt some of the very good games that are going to come out from indie devs and devs that self-publish, and Microsoft might not be a part of that. So gamers lose out, and that's a big one for me. The next thing is streaming, and this is an unknown, but it's kind of disappointing for me because they didn't talk about it at their press conference, and they did talk about something that is good, but they didn't mix the two. So what's good with this, and I'll go ahead and kind of cheat a little bit and talk about this, is that they're going to have game DVR, which is the ability to record your games. And they said they're going to also have editing tools with that. What I expected to come after that was, yes, we've also partnered with, Twitch TV to offer live streaming support for gamers that want to do that. That's like the new thing right now for gamers, is the ability to stream, record video. That is part of this. It kind of adopted in this current generation that we're in, and I expect it to go well into the future, but they didn't announce anything about streaming. You compare that with Sony, they partnered with Ustream, and I believe it's Gaika, correct me if I'm wrong, cloud computing, to bring you guys streaming straight from the platform. So this is kind of not a very good thing for me. So I'm hoping that we get some news about either Twitch partnering with them or just live stream, whoever, partnering with Microsoft to make this a reality. The next two things, wire controller and always on. These are both things that probably people are always kind of upset about, I think, about all the notion of always having your computer or your console or whatever online. But both of these kind of run together for me because they fall on the same line. Now, I'm not upset about my having to always be connected to the internet to play games. Where it affects me is because I travel so much, all right? Because I am in the competitive environment and scene, I'm the guy that's going to LANs. I'm the guy that's packing up my console, taking it to a BYOC. And if I can't play my game because I need a internet connection every 24 hours, then that's not a very good experience. And I don't expect a lot of people to have the first consoles unless they're priced reasonably, within the first year. So I don't expect that to happen. So typically what you have to do is BYOC to a lot of places. And that could hurt me. In the same vein, having a wire controller is also something that is required typically at LAN or tournament events. There is not one event that I can think of, major event, that allows you to use a wireless controller. They're typically banned from use. So if Microsoft doesn't show us a first-party wired controller, I think that's a little troubling. We'll have to wait for a third-party peripheral to come in, step up to the plate to either offer an adapter to use your previous generation controllers, or just wait till they outright make it. Mad Catz or Razer or whoever, Scuff is going to make that next generation third-party peripheral. So that'll be something that I'll be eyeballing quite a bit here soon. I hope they show that information for this event. Now, Sony, I don't really have too many disappointments. The biggest thing, and we haven't really heard too much on this, so I can't say I'm too disappointed, is that I don't feel like the PlayStation Network, online network, is as good as Xbox Live Network. Again, I have all the systems and I experience both. I don't feel like the user face is that friendly. I don't feel like the experience is outstanding. But I think going into this, I'm just disappointed that we didn't hear a lot about it. I'm hoping that they talk about it in depth at E3, because that is one thing where I feel like Microsoft still has the one up on them. And we also didn't hear anything about dedicated servers, again, which Microsoft, I'm going to talk about that here in a second, Microsoft has the one up on them there. So other than that, I can't really think of too many things that I'm disappointed with from Sony. I don't like their the fact that they didn't show their console, but I can wait at the event to see what that looks like. Now with the good, let's go ahead and go Microsoft again. I do like that they showed off the console. That was excellent. We get to see what it looks like. We get to analyze the controller, the Kinect, all that stuff. This isn't necessarily good. I'm kind of neutral on this. That's why I didn't say it's bad. You do have to have your Kinect always connected to your console, which I'm sure that probably bothers some people. But hey, I'm really neutral on it. I don't particularly care. But what is good, I think the best thing that I heard from Microsoft, there was not too many, is that they're going to have rather dedicated servers, and the friends list, I think, was bolstered to 1,000. So it's currently at 100, but it's now bolstered to 1,000 friends. So that is huge. The other thing that I was really excited that they talked about, and we'll get to see at E3, is that they're going to have 15 exclusives and 8 new IPs for their games. So we don't really know what too many of them are, but that still sounds very interesting to me. The game DVR is also very good, which I mentioned, and the ability to edit videos on the fly. Now, what I'm neutral about, all the stuff related to TV. I don't really care about that at all. The Skype stuff was cool, but I want to know if that's integrated into, the ability to stream and do all that stuff. As a gamer, all of those features are kind of like, I don't really care about them. They're cool that they're there. I'm sure I'll use them if I get the system, but I'm kind of neutral on them. Now, the good for Sony, there's a lot of things that they talked about. The biggest one, I think, is the indie support. Again, I talked about Digital Extremes and Warframe, but I really feel like they're going to usher in a lot of support for developers that just want to get their game out to gamers. They're also going to have streaming through Ustream, which is not really good that they chose that platform, but it's good that they're going to have streaming. remote play and the ability to, I believe, record your gameplay and upload it as well. So all of that is very good for me. I'm kind of neutral on the controller. I have never been a really big PlayStation controller fan, specifically because I play shooters and I don't feel like they play too well there. But from what they show with the controller, I really have to get my hands on it and play some games to see how they feel before I pass judgment on this upcoming generation's controllers. Unknown, both consoles, we don't know the price. So that's probably the biggest thing. What would deter me, I think, is a price point around $600. I really have to be persuaded, like, this is so valuable, I cannot pass this up. I must have it, and maybe I'll pay that much money for it. I think the high end that I would pay is $5. I'm expecting both to be around $399. If they're not, and they are at $5, I'm just going to be eyeballing which one is better bang for the buck. What am I getting the most value out of? And that's what I'm going to base my decision on. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to tune in to part 2 when I talk about the games. Later.